diversity. So, if you're a parent of a child who's old enough to talk, you've likely experienced at least one of these embarrassing moments at the store where your child encounters someone who's different than she is. Maybe you were innocently strolling down the aisle when you encountered someone with dwarfism. You tried not to stare. On the other hand, your child blurts out, "Hey, look at that short lady. Look how short that lady is." Her words are so loud that you feel like someone just gave her a microphone. You smile in deep embarrassment, still trying to avoid eye contact, and rush her over into another aisle where you scold her. And you tell her, like, never talk to people like that. But it's how we face these horrifying moments, but you're missing out on a great opportunity to teach your children important lessons. When children point out differences, they do so out of curiosity, free from any prejudice or ill intent. Unfortunately, such prejudices can quickly attach themselves to these differences as your child gets older and is exposed to many inherent prejudices in our society. The good news is you have a powerful influence over whether your child embraces people of other ability, appearances, and beliefs. So let's look at some of the best ways to make sure that she does appreciate diversity, and we'll talk to him about why this is such an important trait to instill in your child. Number 1, embrace these teachable moments. The younger you start to teach them some diversity training, the better. As you know, younger kids, they speak out with no filter. And, with you, there's more help that you can navigate their questions that have likely already exposed them to any prejudices surrounding diversity. But since we can't go backwards, it's obviously best to start whatever your age your child is. So let's say that you're in the store and your child expresses excitement and amazement about that really short lady over there. I know you want to die of embarrassment, but you can rest assured that this is something that this lady has been dealing with all her life. So don't think that your child is inflicting some kind of unique pain on her. Fact is, most adults are pretty comfortable with whatever their diverse trait is. Instead of running away in shame, start by responding, "Isn't it great that people aren't so different? That people are so different from each other?" You can consciously move away from the person as you continue with your lesson here, but she will likely appreciate the fact that you're using that moment to give your child some life lessons. Explain the cause, whatever the difference is, and encourage your child to ask questions. Teach your child that physical diversity is beautiful, and that what we really want to focus on when we meet people is who they are on the inside. Something that we can't all figure out by what we just see on the physical appearance. Some people will even respond to your child when he makes a comment about their difference. So this is the best possible teachable moment. So don't rush your child away from it. The child who asks, "Mommy, why does that man have one leg?" could be met with a powerful story from the man, on how he was careless as a child and he lost his leg in an avoidable accident. When these moments happen, thank the person for their generosity and helping your child to learn to navigate the world. Number 2, be a role model. Sometimes when we encounter older people who are racist, for example, we'll give them a pass because that's the way things were when they were growing up. That's the way they were taught, and that's the way they were raised. In other words, they don't really know any better because that's what they were taught. Despite all the outside influences from peers and other adults and the media, you are your child's biggest influencer, and he will, for the most part, adapt to all the attitudes you teach him about diversity. This doesn't mean that you have to go around like constantly pushing the diversity agenda. It just simply means that let your child see living a life that treats people equally, no matter what their appearance is. Say hello to the homeless people as you pass them by instead of crossing the street to avoid them, and refuse tolerant insensitivity from other people. If someone tells an inappropriate joke, let your child know that thinking and talking is not okay. Openly stand up against all kinds of insensitivity and diversity that you may see in real life and that you may hear about on TV or radio or social media. Number 3, read good books. Make it a point to read books by authors who look at different backgrounds, different cultures than your children has. Seek out books that will introduce your child to new places, new people, and new foods. Choose some books that specifically address diversity. Some examples are Special People, Special Ways by Arlene McGuire. This book presents a positive image of those with disabilities and shows that despite all the differences, we still have so much in common. My Sister is Special by Larry Jansen. This is especially good for younger children, as this is a beautiful story of a boy learning compassion through caring through his little sister who has Down syndrome. It's Not What You've Got by Wayne Dyer. This book sends the message that money doesn't define who you are, and it teaches that it doesn't matter what others have, and that abundance comes in many different forms. I'm Like You, You're Like Me by Cindy Gaynor. Here kids learn to appreciate the ways that we are all alike while still affirming our individual differences like straight hair versus curly hair and large and small bodies. I Don't Want Curly Hair by Laura Ellen Anderson. This is a great book, especially if your child is uncomfortable with a physical trait that they have. When a curly hair girl meets a straight hair girl, and we learn that we often think that we want what we can't have. This is just a tiny sampling of hundreds of books that are out there. Oftentimes, your local library, they will have special sections with all the books about diversity in them, and you can also browse Amazon if you want more books that you'll ever need on this important topic. Number 4, make a conscious effort to explore diversity. There are many ways to speak about diversity, from listening to different music, exploring different foods, attending cultural festivals, volunteering at a special care facility or a youth center that serves kids with different backgrounds other than your child. You can buy a globe. You can teach your child about faraway places. using books, TV shows. Let them see how people in China and Africa and France look, how they speak, and how they live. The more opportunities that you seek out with your children, how we all look different, then the more she'll grow up seeing how much we're really all the same. Why it's so important to teach your children the value of diversity. Teaching your children about diversity has value far beyond the desire to see our children grow up as well-rounded human beings. And yes, we want them to be able to work and deal with all types of people, because more and more they're going to be encountering people with different appearances and abilities in their life. We want our children to be a leader, the one who says and shows that it's right to treat people based on who they are and not what they look like or what their physical abilities are. But it goes far beyond that. Perhaps, most importantly, we want our children to know that it's okay to be the one who's different. To stand up to bullies when they are a target or when they see other children being targeted. We want them to make good choices when everyone else is experimenting with sex, drugs, or alcohol. We want them to pursue their dreams and their career, even if it doesn't mean the traditional path of going to college and working for someone else. Teach your child that diversity is a good thing, that each individual has value in who they are, who they inherently are, gives your child a solid base for becoming a strong individual. This will serve her well as she navigates all the social challenges of the school and childhood, and as well as growing up with challenges to finding her own path for a happy life. At kidspartycharacters.com, we love diversity, which is one reason why we have over 200 characters to choose from. No matter what your child is into, chances are that we have it, even if it isn't the latest fad that all the other kids are choosing for their party themes. So visit us at kidspartycharacters.com to book your child's next party, and don't hesitate to advise us on any special accommodations that you need to make your child and all his guests feel welcome and included. And be sure to connect with us on Facebook for the daily updates on all the magic that we bring to these parties, as well as parenting strategies for raising happy and healthy children. Again, I'm Cheryl Jacobs. Thank you for listening to our Kids Party Characters podcast, and please subscribe below.